There's a scene on The Chosen where Jesus comes to, I apologize, I don't remember his name, but I've been shown repeatedly this scene where Jesus comes and said to him, there's been hundreds of stories of the same story of healing. But if I heal you now, it'll be like all the rest of the stories. But your story is going to be different, right? Because the story was, if I heal you now, it'll be just like the same of the other stories. But you keep going through all the tribulations, all the suffering, and you keep your faith in me, it's not going to be like the rest of the stories. Remember this, if God is putting you through something, there's a reason for it. Your faith through it all, no matter how much the enemy throws at you, how much they want to keep you secret, your story is going to be different than the other stories, because the enemy wants to weaken you and wants you to make you to believing that there's, God is not there for you. There has been many signs wants to weaken you and for you not to have any faith. Now, and I've been getting many signs. I remember God will send you many love notes, many signs. The more and more ascension you go on, you'll get many more signs that no matter what's going on, that He is there with you. His angels are there. Ask and you shall receive. And remember, the things that you asked for, you may have not gotten the way you wanted it to, but you have been receiving it. You wanted the truth, you're getting the cold hard truth. You want to find out that certain people were involved who you never thought would be involved in the plot of the enemy. You guys, tonight, or this afternoon when I took a nap, I had a dream. There was a dinner. There was a dinner where everybody gathered around, and the enemy was having a discussion about you, a plan, about, they're on an old timeline, whatever, like with addiction, a story of plotting that people are still saying that you're still addicted, that you're still doing drugs, that they're trying to, the illusions are coming clear. People are starting to see that no matter what the enemy puts you through, you still have your faith with God. Energy doesn't lie. It does not lie. That, wow, we're throwing all this at this person and they still have faith in God. They're still praying. You guys, not only am I led to to call upon God, call upon Jesus, also my spirit team, which could be your angels, your spirit guides, your ancestors, the ascended masters, the universe, Gaia, Pleiadians, giving thanks to them all too, because there is a story, okay, that where it's going to be shown on how spiritual justice, yes, you've had things that the enemy maybe took from you, let's say like an inheritance. They want to keep you hidden. My past video I talked about, they want to make you homeless. You don't have a phone, you don't have a mailbox, where they said they had no way to get a hold of you, or you was missing, or you were some out on the street, strung out on drugs, just whatever to fit your story. But some people's story, everything has been watched. People were warned to do the right thing. Ascended Masters, I'm being shown Ascended Masters can manifest into the real. I'm being shown the movie, I don't know if it's Heaven for Real, or I don't know, Heaven on Earth, one of those movies where it shows like maybe a glitch in the system. There is going to be spiritual powers, however, to help you. Like the guy who was at the airport trying to get to his sick daughter, and the guy behind the counter at the airport turned his computer off so his payment could go through to get on that plane. That you do have, hold on, Mama, be quiet. That you do, there is helpers out there. just to have faith. I'm also being shown John Coffey, the movie The Green Mile. Do you know where the part where he went and he healed that woman with cancer? He sucked it out of her into him and put it into somebody else. That one guy who was, I don't know, he worked for the prison, but he was very mean to the prisoners. And he ended up taking himself out through that poison that he sucked out of the woman. I'm being shown that in my head as well. But something about spiritual justice. If it doesn't justice don't want to be fulfilled in the 3D, that there is a thing called spiritual justice where the ancestors, to where your faith is so high that you literally do not have to lift a finger, that your ancestors are on it. And go back to the dream that I had earlier. There was a dinner with your enemies, right? They were all sitting down trying to come up ways or whatever. But in the dream, there was a Passover grandmother who was there, who was watching it all go down. Meaning that you are protected not only by Father, but the ancestors. Now remember, the ancestors, you know, the spirit guides, whoever over in the 5D above, they all have to get permission from God to do whatever. Because there was also another dream that I had where up above flying, there was like a, it wasn't a human, but its skin was like made out of rocks, like a red type of rock, as you would see like one of the superhero movies. That there's something that's up above you, all around you, protecting you. And that no matter, remember this, no matter what the enemy throws at you, do not lose faith that not only you have the Most High, but the spiritual realm. There is something going on in the spiritual realm. It goes back to the movie Ghost that I talked about on my old channel. I get shown repeatedly. You remember how Sam protected Demi Moore's character, his girlfriend's character, because he was taken out over money. Somebody who was very close to him, which his best friend, the one who was involved in taking him out. That you literally, there is something going on in the spiritual realm that's not going to be seen like before. Like there is going to be spiritual justice. Long as you keep your faith, long as you be in obedience. And remember, vengeance belongs to the Lord. You know, don't let it turn you bitter. Don't let it turn you angry. Just keep going and have faith that God is going to take care of it. And I know some of you out there, you know, want it to come faster, and that's how a lot of people will want to give up, because God sometimes maybe be taking longer. But remember, everything needs to happen. Your patience will be rewarded no matter what the enemy throws at you. And right now they're in desperation mode because the illusion, the lies are not sticking. Everything they're being thrown at you, there is a spiritual justice that's going to happen. Don't let your heart turn angry or bitter. You know, if you do catch yourself getting in that energy, don't stay in it too long. Get yourself out of it. Remember also too, a lot of people are projecting negative energy at you, or you are also like a sponge. You're picking up other people's energy. I know one thing that I've been seeing, pay attention to your environment, because I've been seeing a lot of people fighting around in the environment. So there's a lot of your enemies are fighting right now. Okay, let spiritual justice happen. Have faith, because I promise you this, God also has his earth angels here in the 3D realm. Your hidden helpers, your soul tribe, I promise, that are helping. Do not be afraid, because your faith, baby, your faith alone, the power in your faith, how you keep going, how you're trying to be obedient. You know, there was a video I came across of a guy was like, and it made so much sense. You know, he said, you could have the closest people to you betray you. And he said, don't take it personal. Because when people are around you, they can get uncomfortable. Because you are the mirror. You are on the ascension going higher. And like it goes back to saying that some people aren't ready to wake up yet. Their ascension hasn't started yet. So you tend to reflect that, and it makes them uncomfortable. It's a spirit attachment to don't take it personal. Also too, you may come across people in your life and have one conversation, but that one conversation got them going on an ascension. Just like if somebody passes away in your life, that person could have passed away to start your ascension as well, to start your awakening. To have faith, stay in prayer, pray, even if you don't even have the words to pray on some days, right? You're just tired, you're worn out. God knows your heart. God knows in those tears, He knows your prayers that are in those tears. Remember, don't be afraid to cry and let it out. It doesn't mean you're weak. It's a form of purging. I promise you this. When you cry, it's a form of purging. Don't let nobody say that it's weak or I promise you, it's a form of purging. And God knows those prayers inside those tears. He even knows how you feel in your heart. Even when you say, God, I'm too tired to pray right now. Can you please just receive it in my heart? As well. Have faith and trust. No matter what the enemy throws, no matter what they take away from you, they took away, literally to where you strip down and you have nothing. I promise you, there's a reason for everything. There's a reason why God made it that way. But to have faith that God is going to come through, because He's always going to find a way out of no way. You may say, God, the enemy took everything from me. I have nothing left. I'm literally sitting outside. What does God say? The birds don't worry about what they're going to eat. The animals don't worry about the material things. If you just focus on me, I promise you, I will come through. There will be a way out of no way. Keep that faith. Stay in prayer. I love you guys. 333. All journey long.